When most speak of dimensions, they are truly speaking of matrices. Aridif. Matrices. We're starting with universal matrices to clear up the following confusion. The idea of a higher dimensional plane is often verbalized as another dimension, and they could be perceived as such, but this is not entirely accurate. Aridif. So what is a universal matrix? A matrix is a level within a universal construct that is its own environment. Matrices are parallel realities that have an increasing level of connection to creator energy with each higher matrix. In our universe, there are 12 of these matrices. Think of these like the 12 musical notes in a chromatic scale. Each note is essentially the same thing, sound, or in our case, a universe. But each note sounds different, because as we go up the scale, the vibrations get higher. As the vibrations go higher in our matrices, the connections of all entities within that universal matrix is enhanced. The next note up, or in our case, universal matrix above, will appear very similar to ours, with a physical earth and even a you, but each piece is much more connected to each other and to source. Together, the matrices form a complete expression of all things the universe wants to experience. Just like the 12 notes in the chromatic scale allow musicians to create all the sounds they need to express themselves in song. In music, these notes interact, but in our universe, these matrices are a bit more separate. We can't travel through them without going up to the density of the universe itself, 11th density. We are able, however, to feel and experience them through a third-party perspective, through channeling. In-tune beings can peer into the matrix above and below by connecting to universal consciousness, but they can't really influence them or gain a physical presence there. The connection between matrices is much more than just a glass wall we can see through. The connection subtly influences the possibilities that each matrix has on the most fundamental and universal level. Though physical interaction is not possible, information transfer is possible. And if it's possible for us to share experience, imagine what's happening all the time at the higher and lower densities. The implications of this are unknown, but it's likely that the range of possible grooves of conscious experience is expanded, with a far greater range in both connection and separation. All matrices are connected through the 11th density, and they are a part of the universal consciousness. Matrices aren't as much of a part of our daily experience as dimensions and densities, but they do need to be explored for a complete picture of our universal consciousness. Let's review what we've learned. In our universe, there are 12 matrices, each of which enhances each other's expressive abilities, allowing our experience to be particularly rich, kind of like how different notes create rich musical chords and songs. Like the sound you might be hearing from the bugs outside which just decided to join us. Each matrix holds 6 dimensions and 10 densities of consciousness. Combined, they make the 7th dimension and the 11th density. If that makes no sense, don't worry, it will soon. Incarnating between matrices is only possible when you reach the 11th density universal consciousness. Peering up and down into other matrices is possible, but we cannot physically go into them, or even incarnate into them without going through the 11th density. You now understand one of the 3 fundamental components of our universe. Next up, we'll explore dimensions and meet my friend, Chis.